This is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is Cape Cod. On Cape Cod is the town of Eastham. In the town of Eastham is this windmill. And in this windmill, there is a cannon. The HMS Somerset, launched in 1748, was a third-rate ship of the line in the British Royal Navy. She carried 64 guns, had a crew of over 400 men, and had seen service during the 7 Years' War. She was also involved in the early stages of the Revolutionary War, taking part in the bombardment of the rebel fortifications during the Battle of Bunker Hill in 1775. In early November 1778, the Somerset was sailing off the coast of Cape Cod in search of French warships. On the second day of that month, there was a large storm which caused the Somerset to run aground at a place called Peaked Hill Bars near Provincetown. Despite the efforts of the crew, the ship remained stuck where it was. Because of the harsh weather, it took until the 4th of November to remove all of the crew from the ship, while 21 members of the crew drowned in the process. The crew of the Somerset, under the command of Captain George Oury, became prisoners of the local militia. On the 6th of November, the crew of the Somerset, guarded by the local militia, started their march from Truro to Boston. Most of the Cape Cod towns paid to feed and house the sailors as they passed through, all except for Barnstable, with a quote from the Governor's Council reading, "If you have not bread for the prisoners, let them live without, as many better men have done before them." At Barnstable, on the 8th of November, the prisoners numbered 480. Upon their arrival at Boston, due to having been loosely guarded on the march, they numbered only 314. After their arrival in Boston, many of the prisoners were taken by ship to New York, while the rest marched to Providence, Rhode Island. Many of them were later exchanged for American prisoners being held by the British. Several of the guns from the HMS Somerset, along with ammunition, were salvaged by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Revere and used to fortify Castle Island in Boston. One of the guns from the Somerset was pulled out of the water off Provincetown by a fisherman in the early 20th century, and is now on display at the Eastham Windmill. The wreckage of His Majesty's ship, the Somerset, remains buried beneath the sands of Cape Cod, and it has resurfaced a couple of times.